Hi, this video is about Semrush versus LongtailPro. I'm going to show you in this video how I use both of these tools and what it's like to use them on the inside, along with help you understand some of what the data means, because it's not just about using the tools and pulling the data and mindlessly trusting it. It's also about what does it really mean from a data standpoint. This is something that I think I'm highly qualified to talk to you about. I've used Semrush for many years, not so long for LongtailPro, but I've used it a lot in the time that I have used it, and so I think this is a good comparison. My name is David Hood, and I've made well over $1 million online, and I'm on a mission to help 10,000 people make their first $1 million online. So what I did in here, I came into LongtailPro and I typed in Semrush tutorial. Okay, and I've got it filtered right now. I've got a bunch of 387 keywords. It's only 38. Anything that has Semrush in it, I think there's tutorial right here. Okay, so that's actually a pretty competitive search phrase. Probably because, well, we can actually see if I right click and open like a new tab, it'll go to the details. Okay, so because Semrush.com, YouTube. In a way that this doesn't mean it's competitive, so I think this is kind of messing with the numbers, but it's correct. I mean, you're not going to be able to outrank Semrush probably for Semrush tutorial if they're targeting it, right? And then YouTube, and then this, there is someone on the first page whose domain only has one link according to this tool. Now let's actually see if that's accurate. What we're going to do, let's see if I can copy this. I'm actually going to go to Ahrefs because I found a few cases where their data was off, but most of the time it's accurate. So we're going to come to Ahrefs because it has the most accurate in terms of total amount of links. So we're going to wait for this. So 82. All right. So that I don't know where they're probably pulling their data from Majestic. Oh, okay, root referring domains. Actually, this is for the actual page itself. Okay, let's go to the page. I think that, so 119, that's much more accurate. Let's actually check out the URL. Okay, so they have 2 referring domains here. Okay, so this is accurate. Now, how competitive is this? Are these numbers? It's hard to say for sure. I wouldn't trust just like, if something's 11 and something's 17, that's close enough to where, it's probably not 100% accurate. But if something's like 11 and 44, I think that's probably pretty accurate, which is actually very useful because right now I have it sorted by KC. And even if, this is off a little bit, it still gives me a pretty good idea, so that, obviously Semrush, it's going to be super competitive. In some of these Semrush keyword research tools, it's almost the same kind of thing. Let's check out. Let's actually go to Semrush, and what I did was I went here, and let's just type in Semrush tutorial. Okay, so I would say that the LongtailPro is definitely a better keyword research tool, 100%. But Semrush has a lot of other features in it, so you can use it temporarily. It's actually, the keyword research tool I really don't like it, personally. So I don't like the way that they display relevant search phrases, I think isn't as good. I don't like their overall display. There's even more reasons. Now we go to keyword difficulty. So they don't show the keyword difficulty on here, which is kind of annoying. While LongtailPro is just much simpler in that they show the keyword difficulty right here. And so what we'll do is we actually had to do several steps, and I'm using let's see, LongtailPro's data to actually do this. So we'll actually put this in here, like that, and then you click keyword difficulty. I'm not a big fan of their keyword difficulty either. An estimate of how difficult it would be. Let's go back to here. I suspect that the LongtailPro is more accurate. Okay, let's actually check out one of the ones where they're pretty different, and let's see if we can so Semrush versus Moz. That's their highest one that they're listing here. Semrush versus Moz. Okay, this is actually showing it as pretty low. 28 is pretty low. Okay, so 99 signals is a very authoritative domain. So what I'm really looking at here is root domains combined with let's say like keyword and title and URLs. And that's how if I were to manually measure the keyword competitiveness, then that's what I would look at. Okay, so first of all, mods, Semrush first mod. So from a title standpoint, it's like in all the titles. URLs, it's pretty much in all the URLs. And then from a root domain standpoint, how many links are going to that? How many referring domains? Referring domains to the page, I think, has mattered less over time. There's tons of examples of where you have something like this, where you have a powerful root domain, and then an inner page that ranks really well that has no referring domains. Okay, we can confirm this with Ahrefs. It might have one. Well, it's showing 15, so maybe that's not as accurate. Again, Ahrefs has a better, it's more accurate in its pulling of the data than, I think that they're pulling this from Majestic. While I love Majestic isn't quite as good. Okay, so actually, from a keyword difficulty standpoint, I would actually say that saying this is a 28 is not accurate. 28 is pretty low, and it's relative, so, their scales might be different, but I would say this is probably a pretty competitive search phrase. To think that this is something that you can get and rank for easily, I don't think it's accurate. I don't know what Semrush crack is. It's really weird. Let's check out Semrush tutorial, because that one something is a little bit closer. Tutorial. Okay, so we did actually check out this one before, and I think that putting this as high competitive, I think is much more accurate. And I think 40 for them is a pretty high competition. So it's not necessarily 1-to-1. And based upon that small sample size, I would say you can't really trust. You can't just go. Let's go back. Let's see, return to projects. You can't just say, okay, well, this is 22 and this is 30, and just like take that exactly as it is. You do need to go in and look at it. At the same time, the way they display the data and the way you manage the keyword research data is far better in LongtailPro. I mean, it is primarily a keyword research tool, while Semrush is not. And so the interface and the way in which you use it and the ability to sort, it's just so much cleaner and faster in LongtailPro. So if you're looking to do really good detailed keyword research, then I would definitely go with LongtailPro. Semrush is, most of what I use Semrush for is to analyze like competition in terms of what they're ranking for. So from that standpoint, it's actually pretty good. So let's check out, see if we can find somebody that's a bit more focused on something like that. Let's see. WeRockYourWeb.com. Okay, let me do this. So this is where, let's go back to dashboard. What we're going to do is we're going to put this into here. We're going to go to the organic research. This is where Semrush shines in looking at what someone is ranking for. This is still keyword research. It doesn't really give you, there's not really a competitiveness here, but what you can do is you can export this and you can play with it, and you can also see, sometimes this gives you some really good examples, tax act. So this is clearly not, it's kind of a broad website, so it's not like really a great example. It's one of the problems here with using this version of the tool is that you'll find a website that ranks for a keyword you want to rank for, but they also rank for a bunch of other stuff that maybe you don't want to. If you have a site all about, like, I don't know, digital marketing, then this isn't really going to be a competitor. So you'd have to search through them to find those keywords. I personally like LongtailPro for keyword research, but I think that I would probably do both. once I found someone who was doing something similar to what, or the same, targeting the same market that I'd want to target, then this would become much more useful. That's what it's like to use both these tools. Thank you for watching. Please leave some comments below with any questions that you may have. If you tell me below which one you prefer. Do you prefer LongtailPro or Semrush, or do you use both? And if you thought this video was valuable and it helped you out, please like or subscribe, and click any of the links below to get help on your business, or on LongtailPro or Semrush. Have a great day. Thanks. Bye.